Keanu Reeves turns the tables on Jimmy Kimmel Live. This moment wasn't planned. But it left the world talking. Jimmy Kimmel expected laughs. Keanu Reeves gave him silence, and a lesson the entire studio will never forget. Where are you watching this from? Let us know in the comments and join thousands of others who've been touched by this remarkable exchange. What began as a routine celebrity interview transformed into one of the most powerful moments in late-night television history, leaving an audience of hundreds breathless and a veteran host momentarily speechless. As the stage lights brightened that night, Keanu Reeves emerged to thunderous applause from an enthusiastic crowd. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation. Everyone expected the usual light-hearted banter with the celebrated action star. Reeves had come to promote his latest film, a profound work conveying deep messages about life's value and sacrifice. Known for his humility, composure, and depth according to Business Insider, Reeves had earned the affectionate title, King of Courtesy, from fans who admired his respectful treatment of everyone around him. In contrast, Jimmy Kimmel, the show's host, was renowned for his comedic approach and witty banter. From the opening minutes, Kimmel energized the atmosphere with a series of charming jokes that provoked hearty laughter and created an electric mood throughout the studio. Kimmel launched the conversation by playfully teasing Reeves about his new film. With mock seriousness, he inquired whether the movie's "too serious" message might keep viewers awake at night with deep thoughts, a quip that sent ripples of laughter through the audience. Reeves responded with a polite smile and a gentle joke of his own, showing his understanding and willingness to participate in the jovial atmosphere. Yet beneath his gentle smile, Keanu subtly steered the conversation back toward the film's content whenever possible. He skillfully mentioned that the film held special significance for him and expressed hope that audiences would embrace its message. But it seemed that each time he approached the depth of the content, Kimmel would redirect toward another humorous topic. Have you ever felt dismissed when trying to say something meaningful? That frustration of having something important reduced to a joke. This is exactly what Keanu was experiencing, yet his response would prove extraordinary. Gradually, Kimmel's questions focused increasingly on generating laughter, inadvertently overshadowing the serious meaning Reeves wished to share. At one point, Kimmel even displayed a famous meme featuring Reeves on the screen for comedic effect, causing the audience to erupt in laughter. The studio atmosphere grew increasingly boisterous, while Reeves maintained his position with that authentic smile. Behind his calm exterior, however, he appeared to be contemplating how to delicately reverse the situation. At a pivotal moment, Kimmel asked with a half-joking, half-serious tone, "Do you think your film's message might be too heavy for an entertainment audience?" The audience once again erupted with laughter at his humorous delivery. This time, though, Reeves didn't join in the laughter. He gently placed his water glass on the table, straightened his back, and fixed a calm gaze on the host. A moment of complete silence descended as the audience sensed the conversation shifting direction. Reeves spoke deliberately, his warm yet clear voice resonating throughout the auditorium. "I believe that audiences everywhere have their own life struggles and reflections. Sometimes we need more than just laughter to truly understand each other." The studio immediately fell silent, all eyes focused intently on Reeves. Sensing everyone's rapt attention, he continued softly. He shared how his own personal losses had driven him to make this film, hoping to inspire empathy in viewers. Looking directly at Jimmy Kimmel, Reeves spoke slowly and emotionally, "I have experienced grief, so I understand the importance of cherishing every moment with loved ones. I didn't make this film for entertainment alone, but to remind us that humor has its limits, and sometimes we need the courage to face reality with our whole hearts." These sincere, penetrating words emerged without anger. Reeves never raised his voice or showed irritation, he simply expressed thoughts from the depths of his soul. This marked the conversation's climax, an exquisitely subtle confrontation. The profound nature of Reeves' words skillfully reversed the dynamic, transforming the atmosphere from lighthearted to contemplative. He was embodying exactly what fans expected from the calm, wise Keanu Reeves. Previously, Reeves had astonished Stephen Colbert, another talk show host, with his response to a question about what happens after death. "I know that the ones who love us will miss us," according to Entertainment Tonight. Keanu consistently has this ability to make the world pause and reflect. Do you think Keanu should have just laughed along to keep things light? Or was standing for something meaningful more important than maintaining the comedic atmosphere? The reaction in the studio now contrasted completely with the noisy atmosphere of minutes before. All laughter and conversation ceased, giving way to an astonishing silence. The audience sat in their seats, many seemingly holding their breath as they absorbed Reeves' every word. On stage, Jimmy Kimmel appeared momentarily stunned. The perpetual smile on his lips gradually faded, replaced by a contemplative expression tinged with regret. He realized he had touched upon something deeply personal and meaningful to this special guest. Kimmel nodded slightly, leaning forward as if in respect. "Thank you for sharing that, Keanu," he said, his voice lowered with genuine sincerity. In that moment, the entire audience seemed to share a profound emotional experience. Then suddenly, applause broke out from the audience seating. Beginning with just a few individuals, it spread throughout the auditorium like a wave. This applause differed entirely from the earlier laughter, not boisterous or excited, but slow, powerful, and deeply emotional. People rose to their feet, facing the man on stage with profound respect. Keanu Reeves smiled gently and bowed his head in gratitude. The interview concluded in a completely transformed atmosphere. No one remembered the initial jokes anymore, replaced instead by the powerful message Reeves had imparted. The memorable dialogue on the Jimmy Kimmel Live stage that night left behind a profound lesson about respect and authentic value. Keanu Reeves demonstrated that we can defend our principles and values without resorting to anger or fury. Calmness, wisdom, and sincerity prove the most powerful weapons when confronting mockery or misunderstanding. The image of Keanu calmly turning the tables in the midst of an entertainment talk show reminds us that in any circumstance, maintaining dignity and respect leads to victory. Laughter may provide momentary pleasure, but sincerity touches hearts and endures. Each of us, when facing adversity or becoming the object of ridicule, should remember the lesson from Keanu Reeves: confront situations with composure and wisdom. That represents the true path to success and lasting respect. The evening at Jimmy Kimmel Live had begun as any other: bright lights, excited audience, a charismatic host ready with jokes, and a celebrity guest prepared to promote their latest project. But what transpired over those few minutes transcended the typical talk show formula and revealed something far more substantial about human connection. It exemplified how a single authentic moment can silence even the most raucous crowd, how vulnerability can prove more powerful than humor, and how dignity maintained in challenging circumstances resonates deeply with witnesses. What made Keanu's response particularly remarkable was its gentleness. In an era where public disagreements often escalate into heated arguments or passive-aggressive exchanges, Reeves demonstrated the rare art of redirecting a conversation without animosity. His approach contained no traces of condescension or frustration, only a sincere desire to honor the work he had created and the experiences that had shaped it. This sort of emotional intelligence represents a vanishing skill in public discourse, where scoring points often takes precedence over finding meaningful connection. Have you noticed how rare it is to see someone stand their ground without becoming defensive or aggressive? Share your thoughts on why this kind of composed strength seems so uncommon today. The studio audience's reaction testified to humanity's innate recognition of authenticity. Their spontaneous standing ovation wasn't merely polite appreciation for a celebrity, it represented a collective acknowledgement of something genuine breaking through the polished veneer of entertainment television. In that moment, the invisible wall between performer and audience dissolved, replaced by a shared human experience that transcended the artificial constraints of the format. For Jimmy Kimmel, the exchange likely provided its own valuable lesson. As a talk show host, his primary responsibility involves entertaining viewers and maintaining a lively atmosphere, a role he performs with considerable skill. Yet Keanu's thoughtful redirection illustrated how sometimes the most compelling television moments emerge not from prepared jokes but from unexpected sincerity. The momentary discomfort that flashed across Kimmel's face transformed into visible respect, demonstrating his own emotional intelligence in recognizing when to set aside the comedy routine and honor the authentic conversation unfolding before him. Industry insiders later commented that this segment generated significantly more discussion than typical celebrity interviews. Video clips spread rapidly across social media platforms, with viewers expressing appreciation for Reeves' graceful handling of the situation. Cultural commentators noted how rarely such genuine moments occur in the carefully choreographed world of late-night television, where conversations typically follow predictable patterns designed to promote projects rather than reveal personal truths. What makes Keanu Reeves particularly suited for creating such a moment is the unusual trajectory of his life and career. Unlike many Hollywood figures whose public personas remain carefully separated from their personal experiences, Reeves has lived through profound tragedies that have visibly shaped his worldview. His loss of a child with girlfriend Jennifer Syme in 1999, followed by Syme's own tragic death in a car accident shortly afterward, became part of his public narrative not through his own disclosure but through media coverage. Rather than hiding from these painful chapters, Reeves has integrated them into his understanding of human experience in a way that informs both his creative choices and his interactions. This integration of personal suffering into professional identity creates an unusual authenticity that audiences intuitively recognize. When Reeves speaks about valuing moments with loved ones or facing reality with courage, these aren't merely philosophical abstractions but hard-earned insights from someone intimately acquainted with loss. His words carry the weight of experience that transcends the typically superficial exchange of a promotional interview. The film Reeves was promoting that evening explored themes of sacrifice and the fragility of human connection, subjects that clearly resonated deeply with his own life experience. His desire to discuss these elements rather than engage in lighthearted banter reflected not just professional pride in his work but a personal investment in the values it expressed. For an actor whose career has spanned action blockbusters, quirky independent films, and virtually every genre between, this particular project seemed to hold special significance as a vehicle for communicating something essential about human experience. In the days following the interview, social media buzzed with discussions about the exchange. Many viewers expressed renewed respect for Reeves not merely as an entertainer but as a person of substance. Some shared personal stories of how his films have provided comfort during difficult periods in their lives, creating a ripple effect of meaningful connection that extended far beyond the television studio. Critics who had initially approached his new film with skepticism found themselves reconsidering its potential depth after witnessing his passionate defense of its message. For the studio audience present that evening, the experience likely remains etched in memory as a moment when entertainment transcended into something more profound. Those who had arrived expecting merely to laugh left with something more valuable, a reminder of humanity's capacity for depth, compassion, and authentic connection. The standing ovation they offered represented not just appreciation for a celebrity handling an awkward moment with grace, but recognition of a universal truth eloquently expressed, that beneath our desire for distraction lies a deeper hunger for meaning. The power of Keanu's intervention lay partly in its unexpectedness. In a cultural environment where celebrities typically stick to promotional talking points and avoid potential conflict, his willingness to gently but firmly redirect the conversation demonstrated rare courage. Without criticizing his host or appearing self-righteous, he maintained the integrity of his purpose and the dignity of his creative work. This delicate balance, asserting what matters without diminishing others, represents a masterclass in effective communication. Perhaps most striking was the transformation visible on the faces in the studio audience. The cameras, panning across the crowd, captured the shift from amused entertainment to thoughtful engagement. Expressions that had been relaxed in laughter moments before now showed focused attention, even reverence. Some viewers appeared visibly moved, perhaps connecting Reeves' words to their own experiences of loss or their struggles to communicate meaningful truths in a world often preoccupied with superficial exchange. The studio production team, likely surprised by this unscripted turn, made the wise decision to let the moment breathe. There were no quick cuts to commercial, no forced redirection to lighter territory, just respectful space for an authentic human interaction to unfold on live television. In an industry often criticized for manipulating emotions and manufacturing moments, this represented a refreshing commitment to honoring real connection when it unexpectedly emerged. For Kimmel, what could have been an awkward professional moment instead became an opportunity to demonstrate his own emotional range. His genuine response, setting aside his prepared approach to acknowledge the depth of his guest's perspective, showed a flexibility and respect that enhanced rather than diminished his standing with the audience. Their relationship on screen visibly evolved in those few minutes, moving from the conventional host-guest dynamic to a more authentic human exchange between two individuals with different perspectives but mutual respect. What viewers witnessed that evening was not merely a celebrity redirecting an interview but a gentle reminder of entertainment's deeper purpose. While laughter and distraction serve valuable functions in human life, especially during difficult times, our most profound connections often emerge through shared recognition of life's complexities. Keanu Reeves, perhaps unwittingly, provided a moment of balance, acknowledging the place for humor while gently insisting on space for deeper reflection. The legacy of this exchange extends beyond that single evening of television. In classrooms exploring media communication, in corporate training sessions on handling difficult conversations, and in countless private reflections, the image of Keanu Reeves calmly turning the tables serves as a powerful model of communicating with both assertiveness and respect. Without raising his voice or showing offense, he firmly established boundaries around what mattered to him, demonstrating how principle and politeness can coexist beautifully. For those who study celebrity culture, this moment offers a fascinating glimpse into the complex relationship between public personas and private convictions. Reeves has long maintained an unusual position in Hollywood, immensely successful yet seemingly detached from the trappings of fame, known for blockbuster franchises yet equally committed to artistic integrity. This interview revealed how that integrity manifests not just in project choices but in everyday interactions, even when the easier path might involve simply playing along with the established formula. The film itself benefited enormously from this exchange, gaining not just publicity but a deeper level of audience investment. Viewers who might have approached it as merely another action movie now carried awareness of its personal significance to its star. The emotional context Reeves provided in those few minutes accomplished what millions in marketing dollars often fail to achieve, creating genuine anticipation based on connection rather than spectacle. Box office analysts later noted unusual audience demographics for the film, suggesting it had reached viewers typically less interested in the genre. Has a moment of unexpected authenticity ever changed your perspective on something you initially dismissed? Let us know in the comments. Cultural commentators have placed this moment within the broader context of an evolving media landscape where authenticity increasingly commands premium value. In an era of carefully curated social media presences and strategic public relations, glimpses of genuine human emotion stand out with remarkable clarity. Keanu Reeves, never particularly active on social platforms and notoriously private about his personal life, paradoxically achieves authentic connection precisely by maintaining boundaries around his privacy while showing genuine emotion within appropriate contexts. Fellow actors subsequently expressed admiration for Reeves' handling of the situation, with several noting the difficulty of maintaining personal integrity within promotional obligations. One veteran performer commented that Reeves had demonstrated the possibility of meeting professional responsibilities while honoring personal truth, a balance many struggle to achieve in an industry that often prioritizes marketability over meaning. For Jimmy Kimmel Live producers, the episode prompted thoughtful reflection about the show's format and approach. While comedy and lighthearted exchange would remain central to its identity, the unexpected power of this more substantial moment suggested potential value in occasionally creating space for deeper conversation. Subsequent episodes revealed subtle shifts in Kimmel's interviewing style, particularly with guests known for more thoughtful perspectives. The most significant impact, however, occurred not on television but in countless private moments where individuals, remembering Reeves' example, chose dignity over defensiveness in their own challenging interactions. From workplace disagreements to family discussions about sensitive topics, his model of firm but respectful communication provided a template for maintaining principles without creating unnecessary conflict. The evening concluded with warm handshakes and genuine smiles between host and guest, demonstrating that authentic disagreement need not create lasting tension. As the cameras turned away and the audience departed, they carried with them not just the memory of an unusual television moment but a practical demonstration of how to navigate complex human interactions with both conviction and compassion. In a cultural moment often characterized by division and defensiveness, Keanu Reeves had provided a quiet masterclass in the alternative, standing firmly for what matters while maintaining respect for others, perhaps the most challenging and necessary balance in human communication. In the weeks that followed, both Kimmel and Reeves received numerous messages from viewers expressing appreciation for the unexpected depth of their exchange. Some described how it had prompted important conversations with loved ones about prioritizing meaningful connection over surface-level interaction. Others shared how it had given them courage to speak their own truths more clearly in professional settings where they had previously felt pressure to conform to expected patterns. The lasting legacy of that evening extends beyond either man's career or even the success of the film being promoted. It lives in the subtle shift it created in cultural expectations, demonstrating that even within highly formatted entertainment contexts, authentic human moments can emerge and resonate deeply. It stands as evidence that audiences hunger for something beyond polished performance. They seek genuine connection, even perhaps especially from those we elevate to celebrity status. What Keanu Reeves accomplished that evening was not merely a successful navigation of a potentially awkward interview moment. He provided a living demonstration of values he has consistently embodied throughout his career: respect, authenticity, depth, and the courage to gently but firmly stand for what matters. In doing so, he transformed what could have been just another promotional appearance into something that continues to inspire more meaningful communication in countless contexts far removed from Hollywood spotlights. How often do you find yourself choosing between being liked and standing for what matters? Keanu showed us it's possible to do both, with grace that inspires rather than alienates. Media scholars have since referenced this moment in discussions about the evolution of celebrity interviews in the digital age. In an era when viral clips often capture either lighthearted celebrity games or uncomfortable confrontations, Reeves offered a third path, one of dignified authenticity that refuses both trivial entertainment and antagonistic conflict. This approach resonated particularly with younger viewers who, despite growing up in an environment saturated with carefully constructed media personalities, display a remarkable ability to detect and value genuine interaction. The ripple effects extended beyond audiences to other talk show guests as well. Several celebrities later cited Reeves' example when discussing their own approach to promotional appearances. What Keanu showed us is that you can honor your work without being pretentious and stand your ground without being difficult, noted one actress who had previously struggled with the inherent superficiality of the talk show circuit. He changed the paradigm of what's possible in those 5-minute slots were given. For Kimmel himself, the experience seemed to prompt reflection on the inherent tension between entertainment value and meaningful conversation in his profession. While his show maintained its comedic foundation, astute viewers noticed subtle shifts in his interviewing approach in subsequent months, moments where he allowed conversations to deepen beyond the expected banter when guests showed interest in more substantial exchange. The most skilled hosts understand that adaptability enhances rather than compromises their effectiveness, and Kimmel demonstrated this capacity for growth in the aftermath of his exchange with Reeves. Film critics who reviewed Reeves' movie following the interview frequently referenced the talk show moment in their analyses, suggesting that the actor's passionate defense of the film's significance had directly influenced their receptivity to its themes. One prominent reviewer acknowledged this explicitly: "After witnessing Reeves speak so movingly about the personal meaning behind this project, I found myself approaching the film with entirely different expectations than I might have otherwise. The interview fundamentally changed the lens through which I viewed the work." These professional responses, however, represent only the visible surface of a much deeper impact. For many individual viewers watching at home that night, the exchange provided a moment of unexpected reflection amid their evening entertainment routine. Some later reported that the conversation prompted them to reach out to loved ones they had been taking for granted, inspired by Reeves' reminder about the fragility of human connection. Others found themselves examining their own communication patterns, particularly in situations where maintaining dignity while speaking truth had proved challenging. What made Reeves' approach particularly noteworthy was its stark contrast to prevailing cultural norms around conflict resolution. In an era increasingly characterized by polarization, where disagreements quickly escalate to hostility and nuance is frequently sacrificed for decisive wins, his model of gentle but firm redirection offered a refreshing alternative. Without compromising his position, he demonstrated how to honor both personal principles and interpersonal respect simultaneously, a balance that many find elusive in their daily interactions. Communication coaches subsequently incorporated clips from this interview into their training materials, using it to illustrate concepts like grounded assertiveness and values-based redirection. One corporate workshop leader reported that executives found the example particularly compelling precisely because it occurred in a high-pressure, public environment with significant professional stakes. "If Keanu can maintain that level of calm authenticity with millions watching," she noted, "surely we can aspire to similar standards in our boardroom discussions." The psychological dimensions of the interaction have also drawn scholarly attention. The moment exemplified what psychologists call emotional regulation, the ability to experience strong feelings without being controlled by them. Reeves clearly felt passionate about his film's message and likely experienced frustration at having it repeatedly sidelined for comedic purposes. Yet rather than suppressing these emotions, which research suggests leads to disconnection, or expressing them destructively, which damages relationships, he channeled them into clear, measured communication that remained relationally engaged. This representation of healthy emotional expression provided a valuable counterpoint to media landscapes often dominated by either emotional suppression or unfiltered reactivity. Perhaps most significantly, the exchange demonstrated the powerful connection between personal experience and authentic communication. Reeves' ability to speak movingly about the value of human connection clearly stemmed from his own intimate understanding of loss. This integration of lived experience into public discourse creates a depth that audiences instinctively recognize and value, especially when it emerges in contexts typically characterized by superficiality. If you've stayed with us this far in the story, what resonated most deeply with you? Was it Keanu's gentle strength, the audience's emotional response, or perhaps the reminder that even in entertainment, there's room for authentic human connection?